Stand and join us in the welcome to dinner.
great big goals, but I quit before I started. I was paralyzed by doubt. I was afraid I'd fail, wind up disappointed, so I took the easy route. Then I watched another underdog reaching for the sky. He ignored the jeers and laughter, pulled it off and took the prize. That's when I realized there's a lot of faith you can move a mountain. With a lot of faith, even a long shot can win the race. Even when it seems unlikely, you can make small miracles take place. With a lot medical breakthroughs put a man on the moon. And you kind of think you'll crumble either way to change the course of the life you are creating. Will you sell yourself short or become a mighty force? With a lot of faith you can move a mountain. With a lot of faith even a long shot can win the race. Even when it seems unlikely, you can make small miracles take place. With a lot of faith, when you believe, limits don't define you. The stars line up behind you. The whole world will be better off because of all you gave. So be brave. With a lot of faith, move a mountain. With a lot of faith, even a one shot can win the race. Even when it seems unlikely, you can make small miracles take place. With a lot of faith.
Good morning. Welcome to Unity of Walnut Creek. I am CL, and it is my honor and pleasure to welcome you all to our service this morning. Please join me in waving hello to our friends online. Hi. All right. Your presence adds to our spiritual community, and we do appreciate you and you. And before we begin our service, let's take a moment to check our cell phones, make sure they're completely off. Thank you. And today we are blessed to have as our musicians Trevor Justice and Brian Honeycutt. They will have CDs on the patio after the service. Please join me in welcoming our special guest, Reverend Eileen Gore. Reverend Eileen teaches metaphysics online for the SEE program at Unity Village and is a writer. Her avocation is raising guide dog puppies. And today at 2 p.m., Eileen will facilitate an individual spiritual discernment process that peels away layers of conditioned thinking and blocks our ability to access innate wisdom. So be sure to come. All right, so let's open our service by focusing our attention through our opening affirmation. And please join me in prayerfully and powerfully speaking it 3 times. So take that nice deep breath through your heart. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. Take another deep breath, and again. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And once again. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, the all-loving goodness of God. And let's continue by reading aloud our statement of unity. God's love is within each of us, guiding us to dynamically express our wholeness, wisdom, and abundance. We acknowledge the universal wisdom in Christ's teachings and all spiritual paths. I now choose to open to the presence of divine love and to be changed at death. Throughout this sacred time, God is uplifting me, and through my heart, the world. And our heart minister will read the daily word, Jeannie Fuson.
The word for today is freedom. I may feel powerless in certain difficult situations. but powerlessness is an illusion. Even though I may not know how I will find my way through, I know that true wisdom and power comes from spirit within. To move beyond any standstill, I remember the truth of my existence. I am divinely created, made in the image and likeness of God. In this truth, there is no room for worry. I live in a consciousness that is limitlessness. I live in spiritual freedom. I use the power of spirit within me to be free from restraint. I break through the chains that bind me and open to the understanding that I have the power here and now to do all things. Filled with spirit, my life is bursting with God's promises. The scripture is Romans 8:2. For the law of the Spirit of the life in Christ Jesus has set you free. And the affirmation is, my true freedom rests in spirit. Would you say that with me, please? My true freedom rests in spirit. And again, my true freedom rests in spirit.
Join them for a workshop this Saturday at 2 p.m. Come explore your next adventure and immerse yourself in story, art, and maybe some gentle movement to find your yellow brick road. And it's time to elect new board members next Sunday and to review our year. Our congregational meeting is an important meeting, and we urge you to come and bring your questions, concerns, and insights. And returning to Unity are Renee Jenkins and Janet Janae Cipriani, who will be conducting a sound healing circle on November 6th. Join them for a lively discussion of ancient indigenous instruments and their historic metaphysical properties, followed by a ceremonial sound healing with angelic healing touch. They will also be providing the music for our Sunday services that day. And now, if you are here for the first time, if you would please raise your hand so that we can acknowledge you. Keep your hand up so our ushers can give you a gift. Anyone? Yeah, we have someone up here, someone over there. Okay, keep your hands in the air while we bring a gift of a shell lei. On that lei is an affirmation we like to share with each of you, which says, just as God has a design for every shell of the sea, so God has a design for your life. And we have a new blessing for you, which you will see on the monitors. Please join me in opening our arms to send you a sincere blessing as we affirm together, we love you, we bless you, and we behold the light of God shining through you. Thank you so much for joining us today. And now, take a moment and greet each other.
Yes, I am.
yes I am.
So let's center ourselves in that I am knowing. Take a couple of deep breaths, and as you do so, just allow yourself to release any tension from your shoulders, your neck. Just let go. Our knowing today is that we abide in that one presence. And it is our ultimate goal to become aware of the oneness that is the truth. To become aware that we do live and move and have our very being in and as the presence. And there is only one. So difficult for us to remember as we look with our eyes and feel with our hands and hear with our ears, that which seems to be outside of us. But today we turn within us. And we allow ourselves to remember that we are indeed wholly whole. We are sacred beings living as the presence. And so again, take a deep breath. Allow yourself to relax completely into that presence, to become aware of the holy wholeness that you are. And so for a few moments, we are completely aware of abiding in the presence. And we do so from the silence of our own being. And as we begin to return our attention to the room, we remain completely aware that we are abiding in the presence, oneness, wholeness. There is only one. And we experience it here and now, wholly and complete. So just allow the music now to bring you completely back to the room, but fully aware of the presence.
of God shines from my hands, 'cause I am a child of God. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Full of clothes, 5 turtlenecks I never wear when my socks tear at the toes. No worries, I've got 30 pairs, but I never give thanks. Ooh, I never give thanks. I got a kitchen full of food and a big old fridge that crushes ice when I'm in a Chinese mood. I got broccoli, tofu, and brown rice, but I never give thanks. Ooh, I never give thanks. Not like the rusty, ragged man outside the corner grocery. I just give him $1 and I watch him glow. I've never known a man so thankful for $1. I guess I just don't understand what the rusty, ragged man seems to know. I got a wallet full of bills and a 401k pension plan to get paid well for my skills, 'cause I'm a college educated man, but I never give thanks. Oh, I never give thanks. Not like the rusty, ragged man outside the corner grocery. I just give him $1 and I watch him glow. I've never known a man so thankful for $1. Guess I just don't understand what the rusty, ragged man seems to know. Just $1 makes his day. I got thousands put away, yet he is far more thankful. In my race to reach the top, I never took the time to stop and see what I have got to be thankful for. Not till this morning when I found outside the corner grocery the rusty, ragged man had passed away. I've never known a man so thankful for so little. Just couldn't understand how fortunate I am till today. Till today. Brother, now I give thanks. Oh, brother, now I give thanks.
Thank you so much. I could keep him up here and have a little background. That would be fun. So, how many of you are planning to go to the rock, paper, scissors championships? Mike is going to go to the rock, paper, scissors championships. Are you telling me you didn't even know there was a rock, paper, scissors championship? It's huge. Sometimes it's in Toronto, sometimes it's in Australia. It's huge. And it's an ancient way of making decisions. Now, if you go to Wikipedia, which is, of course, the authority in all things, you will find that rock, paper, scissors came about during the Han Dynasty 200 years before the Common Era. And you know that actually it was going on before that. But when the caveman did it, it was kind of boring. Rock, rock, rock. rock, rock, rock. Nobody ever won. But on the other hand, nobody ever lost either. So maybe it was a really good way to do things. How many of you are Big Bang Theory fans? Oh, we don't have very many here. Oh, we should change that. Well, on the Big Bang Theory, they escalated rock, paper, scissors. It was called the expansion to 5 things. I have to cheat a little bit here. Because if you know at all Big Bang Theory, they are all, I don't know, 180 IQs or whatever they are. So rock, paper, scissors would probably get kind of boring. So they added Spock. How many of you can do that? Oh, she's good. Quick. Yes. And lizard. Like a little mouth puppet. Okay. So once you add Spock and lizard, you now have 5 choices. So you have to know that. Let me see, I have to get this clear now. Spock smashes scissors and vaporizes rock. He is poisoned by lizard and disproved by paper. Lizard poisons Spock and eats paper. And is crushed by rock and decapitated by scissors. Now, have you got all that? Are you ready? Do you think maybe that's too complicated a way to make a decision? Oh, okay. Well, there are a lot of easier ways to make decisions. For instance, there's the good old-fashioned coin toss. How many of you are football fans? Well, we have a few more football fans than we do Big Bang fans. Okay, so how do you start every single football game? Toss of the coin, right? And according to research, and of course you research everything these days, according to research, if the coin starts out heads up, it will about 75% of the time end up heads up. That is why they can't catch the coin. They have to let it drop on the ground, which gives you a higher opportunity for even heads and tails coming out. It's very important that you know this, right? So that's how we know who has possession of the ball, right? That's the beginning of every football game. So a very good decision-making process, right? Heads or tails. So you could put A, I stay in this job, and B, I quit this job and go somewhere else, and flip a coin, right? It's a good way to make a decision. She doesn't like that as a choice, I can tell. Not really how you might want to do it. However, how many of you are familiar with Alan Cohen? Dragon Doesn't Live Here Anymore, and lots of other great books. He believes that you really can make a good decision using a flip of the coin. You do the same thing. You assign A, heads, I stay in this job, and tails, I leave this job and move out of town, and then you flip the coin. Now here comes the really important part. As soon as you see whether the coin came up heads or tails, you must pay very close attention to your inner feeling. Because you see, it doesn't matter whether it came up, quit the job, or no, this one over here is stay in the job, this one over here is quit the job. What matters is how you feel about what the coin told you. Because where is the truth of our being? Out here on the coin flip? No. Or on the puppet, or on any of the other things? Of course not, it's totally within us. And even though we go through all this crazy head stuff to decide, to make a decision about whether I should stay in this job or whether I should quit this job, the truth is you know in the very core of your being exactly what is the best path for you. Now, we also have group decision making, and that is best done by drawing straws. I'm really glad that I'm here to educate you today, because I bet you don't know that there is a website called You Draw Straws. So you, as a group, say the board of the church. And you're trying to decide, let's see, I don't know, whether or not to put a gazebo out on the lawn. And every board member has a different opinion. You've probably not had that experience, but I've been on that board, so I know what that is. And so what you do is you go to You Draw Straws, and every board member puts down their opinion on a different line, and the site flips it through for you and shows you who gets the shortest straw. Now, isn't that a relief? I mean, really, you don't really have to decide. Because this decision-making stuff, whether it's as an individual or as a group, can feel really tough, can't it? You know, sometimes don't you just want somebody to tell you the way? Yes. I bet some of you even thought that's what I was here to do. Yeah. Call in the guest speaker. She must have expertise in something because David invited her. And surely she could just tell us what to do. And I do guess that I kind of had expertise in something. And that would be spiritual discernment. So there are all those ways to make decisions. Oh, I forgot the very favorite way of a lot of people. You draw a line down the paper, and what do you put on this side? Oh, and on that side. I see you're all familiar with that one. Yeah, pros and cons, right? And so then once you have the pros and cons, how do you decide? The longer list? Is that it? Okay, now I know, that's good. The longer list is the one that wins. But why do you have more things on the longer list side? Because it's what you really want to do all the time, isn't it? So whatever the pros are, or maybe it's the cons, because maybe you don't want to quit the job. Seemed like a good idea at the time, but... So spiritual discernment is our gift. And it is not something that just the experts can do. I didn't really even know what spiritual discernment was, and some wondrous minister gave us a book when I was pioneering a church, which I did about, how many years ago now? 15. And it just didn't feel to me like we were going to do it quite the way everybody else had done it. There needed to be some other kind of energy going on in this church. There needed to be going to our hearts instead of our heads. There needed to be ways to make choices rather than voting. I know. Often I step on toes, so if your toes start feeling a little sore, you know, you ask in the expert, what can I tell you? So we didn't want to do those things. We didn't want to have elections to decide, oh, you have one of those too, to decide who would be on the board. So if you wanted to be part of our community decision-making process, which was spiritual discernment, you were welcome to come. You didn't have to have any special name. You had to make a special commitment to be fully present with your whole heart, and sometimes to just leave your head detached somewhere else. Because we all think that we know from up here. I mean, we have the facts, which we have carefully checked out on Wikipedia, by the way. And we have the past. You tried that, didn't work, right? If every minister had a nickel for every time they heard we tried that and it didn't work, you could build a really big cathedral. Because we do, as human beings, depend a lot on our outer experiences. Whether it's facts, whether it's past experiences, whether it's things that we feel hurt us, we tend to look out there and think, that is how I'm going to know what to do. Or I'll ask an expert. I might even watch the Oprah show, because most of the important stuff goes through there at some point or another. Oh, but she's off the air now, so what are you going to do? Look for a different expert or whatever. But we do all have the capacity to turn within. All of us. And I know possibly that you, like me when I was in that position, don't fully believe that you have it. Don't fully believe that within you is full wisdom that will lead you in the most perfect path. But it is the truth of your being. It is perhaps the most significant truth of your being. Because each and every one of us here, to live the life that we have been created to live, gets to turn to that innate wisdom in order to live that life. Because if we are choosing to live our life according to some expert or some game or some straw or some coin toss, then we're missing that which was built right into us to be the full expression that we're here to be. There is one, only one. Yet we can see that there are many expressions of that one. And without your unique expression coming fully forth, the world is not all that it can be. And I don't know if that unique expression can come fully forth until each one of us is willing to turn to that wisdom that guides us to express in that way. Because otherwise we're sort of living in somebody else's ground, through somebody else's ideas and somebody else's expert way. But not through that beingness that is uniquely ours. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity, called it individualization. There is one presence. And we are individualized expressions of that presence, and we have, here's a word a lot of people don't want to hear, a responsibility to live it. We have the responsibility to be all that we're here to be. And so we get to learn to find that wisdom within us that guides us in our own unique way to be the full expression that we are. And spiritual discernment, because it isn't based on the out here, the pros and cons, the shoulds, sometimes has us come up with an outcome or a direction or a path that we don't want to take. That feels like a big risk. Because especially if we've been living kind of carefully, and your song was perfect about that. Not just carefully, but small. Not realizing how much we have to be grateful for. And that deep wisdom is one of the main things we have to be grateful for. So we get to step into our responsibility, whether we like that seeming outcome or not. It might look like a huge risk. I sometimes kind of like to choose the one, quit the job, keep the job, or quit the job and leave town. And some people are going to say to me, not in this economy. You heard that once or twice or 1,000 times in the last few years now. Not in this economy, I wouldn't quit my job. Well, then how are you going to step forward if that's your guidance, not your should, not some expert's idea of it, but your guidance, to truly move into what you're here to express? How will that occur if you aren't willing to take that risk? Now, surely more of you have seen Indiana Jones and the Holy Grail. Oh boy, you guys got some movie and TV watching to do. Well, let me depict it for you. Here before me is a huge chasm. on the other side of the chasm is the Holy Grail. Indiana Jones is a lucky guy because he has a guidebook. Remember? He folded out his little guidebook. And does anybody remember what the guidebook told him to do? Step out in faith. Huge chasm. I mean, we're not talking just from here to there, by the way. We're talking from here to there. Huge chasm. And to probably eternity, because, you know, that would be the best option. Step out in faith. Have you ever felt that you were standing on the edge of that chasm? Yeah. And did you hear step out in faith? If we turn to that wisdom within, and if we have been guided, as Indiana Jones was, to come to the edge of that chasm and to be seeking the wholeness, Holy Grail, then we will be led to step out in faith. And once you do, what appears? The path, the bridge, the way to go for you. Your own individual, distinctive path. It will appear. 15 years ago, when I was saying to people, I'm going to start a church. And believe me, I didn't say, I'm going to start a church, and y'all come see what it's going to be like, because it's going to be good, I tell you. That's because I'm an introvert. You don't know that from watching me up here, but I am. So I would say to people, I'm going to start a church. Well, what do you think their very first question would be? Well, why might be their first question. That's true. I a lot of people did ask me why, and the why was because I had to have that different experience that I was being guided to do. Next question would be, what? I heard it in there somewhere, but how? How do you do that? I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know how to start a church. Do you know how to start a church? Anybody here know how to start a church? I didn't know how to start a church. I had been, up until just a very short time before that, just like all of you sitting there, thinking, isn't it nice that somebody else is up here? I wanted to invite in the expert, and I wanted them to tell me how to start a church, and nobody knew. Especially how to start the church that I was guided to start. Nobody else could know that, because I had such a strong guidance to found this church called New World Unity. And to do so, not so that it could look like every other church and be run like every other church, so it would be guided from within every heart and soul who came forward to be part of it. It was a huge risk at the time. You can ask my loving husband who lived through it. It was a chasm at least this deep, because I had to quit this job in order to go to this experience of pioneering that church. And one of my favorite individuals who went, one time, she was a musician, and they wrote a lot of great songs for us too. And she happened to be the musician the day that I was sharing spiritual discernment during the church service. I was guided to do that one Sunday. And she did the discernment. Sitting over there, she did the whole discernment. And she called me up on Monday and she said, I quit my job. Because you know, you can't help when you facilitate the discernment to feel just a little bit concerned when somebody decides to quit their job. See how brave I was to stand up here and tell you that if you're guided to do that, and step out into the chasm. And then she calls on Monday morning and tells me she did it. Okay, Erin, what are you going to do? She said, I'm going green. I've been trying to go green all my life. I want to go green. I am going to find a place where my expression that is fully green. The company that I worked for was so wasteful, and everything that I saw and every corner that I turned, it was just not me. And she has had the most beautiful experience, opening up paths that it was time to open up. But who was going to do it if everyone stayed in the old job because it wasn't safe? to cross the chasm. So sometimes it feels like a big risk. And sometimes it's just a little tiny risk, and for some of us that's just about as scary. But whatever it is that your being, that your heart, that your deep wisdom is calling you to, that is what is yours to do. And it is your responsibility to do it. And I bless you in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Eileen. That was wonderful. If you would like prayer support for challenges or celebrations, please ask our heart ministers. They will be available after the service here in the sanctuary and out on the patio. Our heart ministers are those wearing the lavender stoles. You are also invited to place a prayer request in our prayer box by the front door, or in the book center, or by selecting the prayer request button on the computer. We will be praying with you throughout the week. And now it's time for our prosperity celebration. For Love in Action or credit card donations, we do have envelopes provided in the back of each chair. And now I invite you to take your tithe or offering in your hand and be aware that God is the source of all your good. And repeat our affirmation with me together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Dad would say, money don't grow on trees, so hold on to what you got. Cheap haircuts, bargain stuff, native hand-me-downs, no steak, just baked beans in a pot. So soon I'll have a salary, money in the bank, and splurging on myself still felt like walking down a plank. Took a real good yank to take that grip on my wallet, turn on the money faucet, let it come and let it go. Money was meant to flow. Money was meant to flow. Money was meant to flow. Now I treat myself like I've got wealth, that's what I deserve. It takes nerve, but I'm worth a few more bucks. Brand new shoes, lakefront views, a night out on the town. Fine wine, hot fudge with hazelnuts. Good stuff's not too good for me. Hell is what I've earned. But picture me, where would I be if I had never learned to take that grip on my wallet? Turn on the money faucet, let it come and let it go. Money was meant to flow. Money was meant to flow. Money was meant to flow. Now I lose big tips and write more checks to charities and church. I'm not afraid to have a heart of gold. I've been multiplying, come back to me tenfold. It's all cause I was bold enough to take that grip on my wallet, turn on the money faucet, let it come and let it go. Money was meant to flow. Oh, money was meant to flow. Oh,
We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, in the light, in the light, in the light. In the light, in the light, in the light of God. We are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. We are walking in the light, in the light of God. In the light, in the light, in the light, in the light. In the light, in the light, in the light of God.
All right, now our blessing for the children. Children, you are loved, special, and important. God loves you, and so do we. All right, so the offering. We give thanks for these offerings and dedicate them to increasing the consciousness of love in our world. And our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And our peace song. Would you like to stand? Let it shine and have fun.